Catering is one of the most expensive line items on your wedding budget. So it is important that you choose a caterer who not only understands your needs and your vision for your big day, but will also offer you the best service possible for your investment. Before you schedule an appointment with your caterer, there are a few things you need to settle on. Number one is your wedding date. Number two is the start and end time of your wedding. Number three, your wedding guest count. Number four, your budget. And number five, your preferred venue. All of these things are important because they will come up in the conversation, but the location is particularly important because ideally you will want to speak to caterers who are local to your wedding venue so that you can save a little bit of money. You also want to think through what kind of catering or what type of food you want to serve. Will you need hors d'oeuvres for the cocktail hour? Is this going to be a lunch or dinner service? Will you require a dessert bar or a dessert display? Will you require hot snacks for your after party and things like that? So now that we have all of those out of the way, here are 7 key questions you want to ask your wedding caterer. The very first one is my preferred date available? The last thing you want is to have a conversation with a vendor, fall in love with that vendor, and then discover that they're not even available on your wedding date. The second question you want to ask the caterer is whether or not they've ever worked at your preferred venue. A vendor who has worked at your preferred venue or a similar venue will have really useful knowledge about what logistics are available at the venue, what they have to bring along, and what ideas are even achievable in that specific venue. Similar to last week's conversation, another question you want to ask is, how many weddings do you take on each year on average, and how many events do you take on per day? Ideally, you want vendors to prioritize your wedding as much as possible. And unless they are a really big catering company with an equally big team, if a caterer is taking on multiple events within the same hour bands as your wedding, you should be concerned about how much time they will devote to catering your event and whether or not you will get the best service from them. The fourth question you want to be asking is, who will be the person in charge of coordinating your booking, and are they the same person you'll be talking to throughout the wedding planning process? You want a point person, a contact person, somebody you can stay in touch with or connected to throughout the wedding planning process in case your plans change. The fifth question you want to be asking is, do you specialize in a specific type of cuisine, or do you have menus or packages we can choose from? Is everything a la carte? Actually, that's about 3 questions in one, but let's just go with the flow. You want to be asking all of these questions because you want to see what meal types they are good at. Ideally, you want to hire a caterer who is good for the specific type of cuisine that you want. Number 6, you want to be asking them, do you provide an overage for wedding vendors and unplanned for guests? Now, typically when you're hosting your wedding in a hotel or a resort, they will cater for, I will say, an average of about 5% extra to cover your wedding vendors and any unexpected guests. But when you're hiring an off-site caterer, you may need to pay for vendor meals separately, and they may also charge you extra for unplanned meals. And the very last question that you want to be asking is, do your menu prices come with everything all inclusive, or do we have to pay for dinnerware? It is so important because sometimes a caterer can tell you, okay, this menu will cost you 50 cedis per head. This menu will cost you 200 Ghana cedis per head. Only for you to discover when the invoice finally comes in that 200 Ghana cedis per head actually does not include waiters, does not include logistics, does not include cutlery, does not include serving trays. Listen, just confirm all of that, okay? Just confirm all of that. And don't also forget to confirm what happens to the rest of the food at the end of the night. Once all of your questions have been answered and you're happy, your instincts are sitting right, get a booking confirmation in writing, and also confirm how much of a deposit is required to secure your booking. I hope that you found this episode useful. If you did, remember to follow me on Instagram at The African Wedding Blueprint, and also check my website, theafricanweddingblueprint.com. I'll be back next week. Until then, stay safe and stay topped up.